Hey, you, come, gather around the campfire, and welcome to the party. This is Party Chat, a JRPG podcast where we talk about everything that we love in the world of JRPGs and other Eastern titles. I am one of your hosts, Cameron Hawkins, and with me, as always, is my party partner, Kevin Kenson. Kevin, I know how you're doing. I saw you the past week, but
True.
how goes it? How goes it?
It's going pretty good, you know. Had a real fun past few days with folks coming out here to visit. Uh, I'm awful at traveling, so for all the issues I have with the Game Awards as a thing, I love that it's an excuse for everyone to come out to where I live. that is
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
that is always the one huge upside. So yeah, had a great time seeing some folks. You and I obviously hung out on the day of the awards and a little bit before and after as well. Met up with a couple other folks over the weekend, had brunch. It was a good time. Good time.
Yeah, it was good. It was short-lived, but it was good. We got to hang out over by your place. I got to meet your folks.
It's true.
Uh yeah, yeah, both very nice people. Um
And
and
Effie.
uh
And you met the little
and
dog.
Effie, and yeah, and the little pup Effie. I didn't know y'all had a family dog, so I was just like, "Who is this?" And then I got to see Purse, but Purse didn't want to see me, which is okay.
He
But
doesn't like people.
yeah, yeah,
It took like months for him to warm up to Christine, my wife. So
yeah, yeah. I One of my roommates has a dog, and she's very much like that, where she's very apprehensive at first, and then but now she's at the point where like if she I think her like final level up is where she will like get on her two legs, and this is a big dog.
yeah,
This is like a half lab, half chow, and so like get up on you when you're home, because she always barks when someone's home.
yeah.
And so yeah, I get that. Um, but yeah, do we have any fun TGA stories that we want to talk about while
Well, okay, so what all was there? I mean, for the TJs themselves, we didn't go
what
to the show.
happened?
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah,
We didn't
yeah,
go to
yeah,
the
yeah.
show. Instead, we went to your hotel room, your shared hotel room with a few folks.
Yep.
And we all just kind of hung out, drinking beers, watching the show, and maybe talking a little shit along the way. And we had some excited moments too. It wasn't all crapping on it.
Yeah.
There were some good reveals. I wish there was more than like 7 folks that actually received their award on stage. I meant to actually count. It felt like less than past years though. It was very, very trailer heavy this year. Um,
I think the most important thing that we got to mention, that and it doesn't even have to do with either of us, that
oh,
happened during this TGA week. Christine got a picture with Nagoshi.
this is true. This is true. Christine got a picture of Nagoshi because Nagoshi was hanging out at the spot that everyone hangs out at after the Game Awards. Uh, she felt a little bad, but I was also just like, look, you just got to go at this point because what happened was Nagoshi went to the bathroom, and the
Yep.
bathroom is there's a clear entrance, clear exit, and
There's an
so
alley to the
and
bathroom.
there's an alley to the bathroom. That's true. It's not like this is not right at the bathroom door. But he's already getting swarmed by like 4 different people. Like the man's just
Yep.
he's already taken photo after photo in the hallway outside of a bathroom, and I was like, Christine, just go. Like the man's already he's like it probably would be more annoying for him to think he's done and then for you to ambush him 12 steps later. Like just hit the man up while he's already in that space. And so yeah, she got her photo with him. She actually not the really crazy thing is she got the photo and she posted it like within her own community, people she knows, like they were like oh so jealous and that kind of thing. And then the post started doing numbers because Nagoshi replied to it. He was not tagged. He was not like there was no any kind of like, hey, here's me with Nagoshi. Like it just the man found it somehow. The feed, the algorithm sent it to him, and that ended up causing it to get a little extra traction. But yeah, she could have died right then and there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No, that I'm still waiting for that moment for me. You know what I mean? You meet Josh Sawyer, she meets Nagoshi, I need to meet Nomura, and then everything's right in the world.
We're all doing
Very
well.
untrue. Everything's right in the video game
Yeah.
world. That's also not true.
Well, that's a movie. Ooh boy.
That's also like not
Speaking of
true.
which,
Um, but No, yeah, like, it was a Game Awards was solid. Trying to think if there's anything notable. I mean, well, we got to go to a party hosted by Larian. Went later than like probably wanted to because there were, that it was popping, it was popping, open bar, that never is bad. The Expedition 33 team was chilling there, all dressed up with their berets and their,
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because
their
you
outfits.
got there later than me because we actually got there right before the X33 devs showed up. So
Dude,
they weren't
I'm
there that much longer than you. But like it was they arrived and they arrived because it turned into everyone turn and clap kind of moment. Like hey, congratulations on all your wins kind of thing.
yeah.
Which was cool to
It
see.
was it was interesting because I was told pretty early in the night that there was a Larian thing.
Yeah.
But the person that told me that was there, they didn't say it was just come on in. If it was a if type party. It wasn't like a you need an invite. There
Yeah.
was a list. It was like if you just show up, be cool,
Right.
that type of vibe.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was told like, oh yeah, I'm at the Larian party. I'm like, okay, cool, like, have fun, because I just assumed it was invite,
Yeah.
right?
They
And
usually are
then,
because Larian tends to throw at least in the past
yeah,
like 3-4 years whatever like they've done consistent parties at like big events and they usually
yeah,
are very like yeah are you on the list type stuff to my knowledge.
yeah, no, yeah, that was the case for like PAX East. Almost every year is like they do a Larian party at one of the nights. Um, and then so we, you tell me later in the night that it sounds like it's very business conversations, like, it's a business type party, not
Yeah.
like a social proper party type
Right.
deal, and so I was just like, "Okay, cool, like, not gonna go to that," and then out of nowhere, you disappear, and I'm like, "Where the fuck did Kevin go?" And so I text you, and you're like, "Oh, I'm at the Larian party, it's actually super chill here, and, I'm definitely staying," and I'm like, "Alright, I'll make my way over there," you know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
I talked to a few people while I was there, and I guess that was the vibe like early in the night. Like if you showed up right when it started, it was just the right small handful of people, or it was very just sort of like very quiet, very businessy. And I
Yeah,
don't know, how far in that turned. I just know I was hanging out with enough people who said they were going where I was like, the hell with it. I'll go too. Let's go check it out. And then
yeah,
it was really freaking cool. It was. I'd been at that venue before because I've been to some other mixers during the TGAs or other gaming events out here, and that's a pretty cool spot that I've known a couple of different people have rented out. Uh, awesome vibes, just the right size. I think what was really nice too is that like I think in general the TGAs has gotten bigger to where like the hotel bar afterwards is getting to be the biggest mess it's ever been. Like they stopped people from going in this year, uh, and so going from that to the Larian party afterwards, like oh, here's basically everyone I know and wanted to see at the hotel bar. They just came here now, and it's like easier to actually find people because it was such a mess. Like initially trying to find anybody or even just like breathe.
yeah, yeah. Uh, and then and there were some people who are just like, "Cameron, well, like, why did it take you so long to get here?" I'm just like, "I didn't know. I didn't know what, like that I didn't know I could just show up. I didn't know any of those things." So, but I got, 2 or 3 drinks for before they were just like, "We're closing the bar,
Yeah,
like people need to start heading out." But yeah, it was a very cool vibe there. Yeah, a lot of voice actors were there, which was
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I mean,
Just
a lot of the X33 folks were there.
yeah,
Not
mhm,
everyone, but like Ben Starr was there, Jennifer
yeah,
English. Um,
yep.
yeah,
I didn't see Jennifer English by the time I got the. I don't know if, or maybe she was talking to someone. I just like didn't notice. But yeah, and then Rich, right? Richard, who's the voice of Monoko.
yeah, he was there.
Yeah, yeah, he was there. He was he had the trash can. Did you learn why he has the trash can on?
I did not ask.
Okay. I did talk to him, like, later in the night back at the JW after the party,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't think about I definitely was, pretty pretty toasty at that
Yeah.
point, so I didn't.
I will say of all the voice actors that were there, he was actually the one I did end up chatting with for a good period of time, and super cool dude. Just good
He is the
conversation.
most dudes like just a guy type
Just
guy
dudes
there
rock,
is.
like just yeah.
Yeah, he really is just like he's just like I'm just a guy, man. Oh, I do actually have a really funny bit, where, yeah, so it was me and him talking, and one of my friend's partners, and across from me was this guy sitting at the table, and then he perks up, and I'm just like, because I was just like, oh yeah, like you did great as Minoko type deal,
Yeah.
and he's just like, what about me? And I'm just like, who is this gentleman across from me? I'm like, I'm sorry, like, who are you? Like, like, what do you do? And he's like, oh, I'm the voice of Halsey, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, the voice of Halsey. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
what's up, dude?
Well, and then the funny thing that happened with that later, I don't because you were feeling pretty good by this time of the night. This was like at
Oh
the
yeah,
end when we were getting ready to leave. We
oh
found
yeah,
ourselves back at the hotel bar just for like a bit to be like, all right, what are we doing? What's happening? Is anyone still here? And you and I were talking, and I don't remember if you recall this subject coming up, but you were talking about something about like why you were excited to see someone, and then you said something to me, and I don't remember why I decided to finally say this to you. It was like, Cam, I gotta be real with you, man. I don't care about voice actors the way you do.
oh
I
yeah, yeah, yeah,
respect the profession. Like it's nothing
yeah,
against like all the respect to what they do. Like incredible work. All of them should be paid more. Uh, but I'm just not. I don't have that kind of like celebrity reaction to voice actors the way
sure,
you do, or even the awareness of
sure,
who voiced who kind of stuff outside of a handful of people. But I'm saying this to you, and as I say this to you, I'm pretty sure he taps me on the back because he hears me saying this. Dave Jones, Halsey's voice actor, just taps me on the back and is like, "Hey guys, what's up?" and just like joins our
yeah,
conversation. And I'm like,
yeah. No,
"Oh,
no,
hey man, how you doing?"
he,
And
yeah,
yeah,
he
super
definitely
cool guy
overheard
too.
it,
Yeah,
and I saw him walk over, and I was just like,
yeah, no, but super
um,
cool guy. And I was even just immediately
yeah,
like, yeah, like did great work in there. Like I actually,
yeah,
I do one thing I do regret. I wish I was because I was also I wasn't gone, but I definitely was feeling good. I wish I'd actually asked him what it was like with because what's really interesting about Halzen is that he was not supposed to be as present in the game as he ended up being. He was an early
yeah,
access character just for Act 1, and people liked him enough that they basically brought him back and had him record more lines and turned him into a full companion. So, I'm curious just like what that vibe was for him just to be like, "Oh, like cool, yeah, I'll record more and now be like a prominent character more than I was before."
yeah. No, Halson's great. I love Halson. Um, but yeah, it was a good trip. Had many a good conversation. Talked to some people about potential opportunities for the podcast next year, which is cool. Um, and yeah, so uh, we're gonna go into uh
Housekeeping.
some housekeeping before we get into the news for this week, which there is a lot of. We're not going through every like TGA announcement in general. We're just going to go the ones that are like, relevant to the podcast, of course. But there's still a lot. And on top of like the news that came out over the past few days as well. Um, and then we're going to do like our best ofs for topic of the show for this week, as this is going to be our last episode of 2025. We're going to do a 2-week break before we get into 2026. And we're really excited for the next year and see what all that entails. And yeah, so if you've been enjoying the show, please go to your podcast service of choice, give us a 5-star review, whether it be on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or what have you. You can also go to youtube.com/@partychat JRPG pod and hit the subscribe button over there. It really helps us go a long way. So please, regardless of whether you listen to video or audio, please do that for us. We really appreciate it. Lastly, go to Kev. We also have Patreon. Jesus Christ, we also have Patreon where you can subscribe to uh certain tiers to get rewards, but that's all going to be revamped starting in the new year. So don't worry about that right now.
Yeah,
Actually,
we actually do need to spend. Well, this is our last podcast. We do actually need to do some meetings and finalize those changes going into next year. Whoops.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But lastly, go to youtube.com/Kevin Kenson. Hit the subscribe button over there. And yeah, we're gonna get into the news for this week.
Yeah. Just a few things to talk about.
Yeah, so the first thing we're gonna talk about is NIS has announced a new dungeon crawler RPG called Curse Warrior. It's coming out on PS5, PS4, and Switch. This is specifically for Japan, but it will get a surely it's going to get a US release date in the future.
Yeah.
So again, it's a dungeon crawler. The kind of description here that I've gotten from Gamatsu is Curse Warrior is a dungeon crawler RPG where you explore and conquer the underground labyrinth Eclipse filled with curses. In the dungeon, your party members may be cursed through various actions. Since curses alter the abilities and actions of your party members, players must constantly monitor the state of their party and make crucial decisions on how to proceed. Build stronger characters while managing and adjusting the effects of curses to successfully clear the dungeon. The kind of premise of the story is the city of Echoes, a scenic transportation hub, is situated near a rich sea, but its inhabitants live in constant fear of monster attacks emerging from the nearby underground labyrinth Eclipse. As an adventurer in Echoes, you were taking on small quests and exploration jobs when a new request came your way to explore the Eclipse labyrinth and defeat the monsters. Apparently, the entire city is calling on adventurers to subjugate the beasts. Exploring a dungeon filled with curses and overrun by monsters is a perilous task. Even so, you have decided to fight for the city. With the city's peace and the anticipation of hidden treasure in the labyrinth driving you forward. Yeah, so it basically has like this hub map when you're in the city
Yeah.
where you can do all your normal dungeon crawler like things. And it has like the turn-based command battle system.
Yeah. It's
Um,
actually very interesting that, like, just looking at, because you can find press releases that have images of gameplay and such. Uh,
yeah,
I'm not saying this is like one to one this, but it reminds me very heavily of. It feels a little bit like they're taking a bit of inspiration from. Oh, geez, what is that series called? Darkest Dungeon. Uh,
yeah,
it has more traditional Japanese dungeon crawler like mechanics and balance from the looks of it, but it uses the Darkest Dungeon combat layout where you have like the party lineup in a 2D perspective. So it's not like the first person view that a lot of dungeon crawlers tend to have, or doing like the lineup like a lot of classic RPGs. It's doing this kind of like 2D view of the battlefield, that's very similar to Darkest Dungeon that I kind of dig. I like the art style in this. I'm trying to figure
yes,
out
I like it a lot.
I'm trying to figure out who the artist is because it reminds me like a little bit of some of the art from like Danganronpa, but not quite the same.
It was
Um,
giving me some Unicorn Overload vibes for me.
a little bit, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at faces and eyes. It was where I'm kind of getting that vibe a
That's
little bit.
fair. That's
I
fair.
just because the thing is with like a lot of NIS games, I feel like they tend to lean a little bit more into like not necessarily chibi, but like a little more exaggerated, weird proportions. And these are still definitely not like regular normal human composition, but there's just a slightly darker, a little more grounded tone to this than I normally see out of NIS stuff, and I'm digging the look of it. I'm digging the look of it.
It looks really cool. And yeah, the curses play a big part in the battle. The curses can have both positive and negative effects. You can also fuse multiple curses together, and then each party member has a curse gauge where once it gets to 300, it automatically like incapacitates your party member, which is like what encourages you to go outside back to echoes, and then you can use remove those curses and get purification points, which allows you to like do permanent upgrades to your party members. So looks really cool. It does come out March 26th in Japan, but hopefully it comes out not too far after in the US because this looks really cool. Next, I got a update for y'all on title update for Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty. I'm just going to kind of read off the roadmap here on what people can expect going for the next few months. So title update 4 releases on Tuesday, December 16th. So that is today. And then there's a new monster, the Gogmazios. And then along with that, there's Gogma Artisan weapons or Artian weapons. Don't know which. advanced optional quests, armor transcendence, various improvements slash weapon balancing. Um, Starting Friday, December 19th to Wednesday, January 14th is the next seasonal event, or the first seasonal event, I'm not sure. Festival of Accord, Lumenheim. And then Wednesday, December 24th, the Arch-Tempered Jin Dahad comes out. And then lastly, on Wednesday, February 18th, is the Arch-Tempered Arkveld Advanced Quest Various Improvements. There's going to be a special collaboration with Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflection, as well as a design contest test for a great sword slash pendant. The Steam version is also going to get some stability updates. Um, the first one being today with title update 4. Another one being in January. That's just going to be general CPU, GPU optimization. January is going to have more of that, as well as improving shader compilation process, VRAM usage improvements, and high resolution texture pack. And then more general optimization in February. Kevin,
So,
Nagoshi Studios has finally revealed their game,
funniest
and it is
goddamn reveal of all time. Oh my
uh,
god. That
yeah,
this
yeah,
dominated my TGA conversations. At least with folks I know who
yeah.
are also like, into Like a Dragon. Um just the okay, so for people that aren't aware of this, uh Nagoshi was the original creator of the Like a Dragon franchise, also Super Monkey Ball. Uh and he left what was it, in 2020? 2021? It's somewhere
Something like that.
around, yeah, like late 2019, early 2020, something like that. So the last game that he like fully had his hands on was, I think, Lost Judgment. I think there's some ideas he had that were stuck around in Man Who Erased His Name, but he wasn't like fully on by that point. Since that started as DLC for 7. Uh, and so he left to form his own new studio under NetEase, and we had no idea what he was doing this whole time. Uh, Plenty of folks, myself included, guessed he was going to just go ahead and make another game kind of like a Dragon, just something where he could maybe like hit restart. But man, did this man not only do that, but do it to the most literal extent possible. Because that trailer not only showed off a more kind of brutal take on Yakuza, it also is in Kabukicho. Like, straight up, it is in the place that Kamurocho is based on. To the point where they close the trailer with showing the kind of iconic red gate, which is used in all the shots in Yakuza. Which just feels like a war declaration, right? Like, I don't, like, I have to imagine that, like, if like Sega is also in the audience and Nagoshi and them both know where each other are, there had to be a moment where, just lean over and look at each other like, hey, what's up? As that trailer's playing. Not to mention the fact that it's called Gang of Dragon. We go from Like a Dragon to Gang of Dragon, which is just um but yeah, so we don't know a ton outside of just what like this little trailer shows, which is that like, yes, this is taking place in either Kabukicho or in another fictional take on it, like Kamurocho was. We are using likeness actors because the lead character is played by, I don't remember his name. I'm gonna look it up real quick. But I've seen him in a bunch of stuff.
Donnelly, Donnelly.
No, not Donnelly.
What?
Uh, no, Ma Dong-suk.
Are we talking about the main character?
Yeah.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
Oh wait, okay, that's his. Okay, we are talking about the same person. That's his like U.S. stage name. I was going off of
Okay.
his actual
Okay.
Korean name. That's why.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So same guy, just different names for the same person. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's him in the lead, and again, like definitely has that kind of like Yakuza gang warfare energy to it, albeit much more brutal right away. Because like the funny thing about Yakuza is that while people die and things happen, for the most part, it's all very almost like movie style melodramatic. Like we got our PG-13 rating, where like, people die in explosions, or you just see the main character beat people up a lot, and like that's it. Like that, people just get knocked out. This trailer straight up has a guy getting shot in the head. like right away. So there's definitely a more immediate kind of tone shift here that makes it a little darker. It does make me curious what the overall tone of the game is going to be, if they're going to lean more into that kind of vibe the whole way, if there's still going to be any kind of small bits of silliness in the side plot. Because Like a Dragon was very much the same way. It's much sillier now, but at its roots, older Like a Dragon games were primarily dramas that just had silly side stories. Um, so I'm curious if that's going to come over here as well. Uh, but yeah, man is literally just making his own Like a Dragon free from the rest of the studio, and really makes you think and wonder more about why he decided to stop working at RGG and continue to just do the same thing. But here we are. It's going to be very interesting whenever this game drops. It doesn't have a release date or year yet. We don't have any kind of window, but
Yeah.
I'm going to be very curious to see what it's like when it releases side by side with whatever RGG's cooking up at the same time. Because like you and I have not been shy about talking about this. We've been enjoying the more recent ones, but there's been kind of like there's choices here I don't fully agree with, and there's like I don't
There's
know,
been a
there's just
creative dissonance for sure.
yeah, there's been some choices the last few releases, pretty much since Nagoshi left. So this man just coming out with, "Hey, I'm making it again," kind of not, but here you go. I'm very curious.
Yeah, we have gotten a few gameplay screenshots
Hmm.
since the announcement, and it definitely feels it just from the of course these screenshots,
Yeah.
it does feel a little bit different than like traditional like a Dragon Yakuza games.
Hmm.
But it does kind of feel like a mixture of like mafia and like true crime,
Hmm.
true crime games. There's like an actual like there's HUD where it shows like your weapons, like you're shooting up shit in
Yeah.
this game, like in
You
a way that you
yeah.
didn't, you know, there's like one of the screenshots is him with a literal like Gatling gun, like
That is
um,
silly.
so it's definitely a lot more over the top,
Yeah.
in a different way than
Sure.
Yakuza. So,
I mean, Kiryu used
yeah.
guns every now and then. It was just always kind of silly the way guns were handled in the handful of games they were in.
Hey, canonically, Kiryu has never killed anybody.
I believe so.
Canonically. Which is just so fucking funny. I'm so sorry. That's like the funniest thing. Just like literally
There,
shooting people.
there's got to be like
It's
one
like,
guy that you can technically count like inadvertently, but he's definitely never directly killed a man.
yeah, I've never killed a man. But yeah, cannot wait for this game. I cannot wait.
Yeah, no, it's this was definitely my biggest reveal at TGA's, and I, I so want to know and see more.
Yep, 100%. Uh, Now I'm just gonna kind of go down I'm not going in like a specific order per se on
Sure.
like the announcements, the relative announcements.
Yeah, let's just lightning
Um,
around it, and anything we want to talk more about, right? Just get in on.
Yeah. So one thing, so the first game that I'm announcing, or I'm talking about, not technically a JRPG or Eastern title, but it's directed by the director of the Mario and Rabbids games,
Mm-hmm.
which I do think fall under that umbrella.
Sure.
And so I wanted to bring it up
Yeah.
for those that, maybe like that director a lot. So he's releasing a game called Bradley the Badger. Um and it is basically a genre bending action adventure game where like you're going to different biomes, and the biomes are based off like they're parodies of different video game worlds.
Mm,
So there's like one that's like based off Bloodborne, there's
yeah.
one that's based off of The Last of
I
Us,
just
there's
saw
one
the
based
last Badger, and it's like yep,
yeah,
that is Last of Us, just
yeah.
overgrown apocalypse type deal. All right, cool.
Yep, and it looks really fun and cute, and I just wanted to shout that one out there. Um Sony Interactive, as well as Bad Robot Games, have announced a third-person co-op shooter called Four Loop for PS5 and PC. It's, we got a trailer. We didn't get much more information outside of that, Basically, there's the description on the store page is For Loop is a tactical four-player cooperative shooter crafted for endless replayability and infinite ways to build the ultimate team. Together, if you can learn from your mistakes, you might just fail to save the world. Um, this looked whatever for I know that you're not a multiplayer guy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and we were talking about actually maybe doing some Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 down the line, or something, or Cosmic Invasion.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to do both, but like
And that's
in
definitely a little
general,
more in my wheelhouse
yeah,
of
as
multiplayer.
as someone who loves co-op shooters and don't like never get tired of them, this looked fine. Like, this looked whatever. I don't know.
It's a rough
I honestly
genre.
Yeah, I honestly mentioned it just because Sony is like publishing it.
Right.
um, Resident Evil Requiem has officially revealed Leon S. Kennedy as the second protagonist. They do there's like a new trailer. They do explain that, like, hey, this game is half and half. Like,
Yeah.
half of the game you're playing is Grace, half the game you're playing is Leon. Grace is the more kind of like traditional, not traditional,
Seven
the more
style,
new
like,
era
yeah.
7 style gameplay, while Leon is like Resident Evil 4 2, baby.
Yeah. Actually, I really like that idea. Look, because we've talked about this a lot leading up. A lot of people were hoping Leon would get revealed. Personally, I'm a little underwhelmed. I feel like Leon has gotten his flowers plenty of times, and we even got 4 remake like not that long ago. So there are other characters I kind of wish we got instead.
Yeah.
But I get it. However, I will say I really like the idea of them trying to walk this balance of like, look, we want to have a new character where there's a legitimate reason to be underpowered and scared and like have those kind of horror vibes that Seven was hitting, and bring that in. But then also here are some sprints and distances where it's like, all right, here's all the guns and all the really crazy over the top bioweapons. Deal with it. I like the idea of like swapping between those two and getting both those experiences in one game. I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I have no stake in this race, so I'm happy for people that Leon's back, because obviously I would agree with you and say, like, I would rather have saw Jill
Hmm.
come back, just because it's been since 3 that you play as her, or do you play as her in Revelations or something like that?
Yeah. So the last new game she was playable in, well, was technically 3 remake, and then before that was the first Revelations. Um,
Yeah. So it's been a long time.
it's been a while. Yeah, 5 was the last mainline entry where she wasn't even playable in like the base game. That was like a DLC side story where you played as her. But the main game was Chris and Shiva. Um, but yeah, so it's been a minute since she was fully playable, aside from 3 remake, which was not that long ago. Uh, and then Leon, of course, 2, 4, etc.
I will say that, like, when we first got the leak of Leon, I I I feel like he looked older than he actually did in the trailer. Like, in the trailer, he looks younger. Like, I thought that was like a pretty significant jump in
Sure.
age. And like, he's got like a little wrinkle there, but
Yeah.
like he's
Well, I
got
mean, in
a
universe,
light beard, but
this is like 20 years after 2, which I forget where that puts 4 relatively, but uh cuz like,
yeah, so dude's like in his like mid 40s.
yeah, probably about
Yeah.
there. Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah. Cool. Um Mega Man Dual Overdrive was announced for like basically everything,
Yeah.
and it's coming out in 2027. Kevin, you are Mr. Mega Man.
On this
Tell me
podcast
how
at
you're
least.
feeling about this.
Yeah, look, I am excited about it. I am excited about it. There is a part of me that sees a weird kind of take a step back humor in the idea that less than a decade ago they tried bringing Mega Man back, and now we're trying to bring Mega Man back again.
Mhm.
I'm curious if there's going to be any kind of like lessons learned from 11, because 11 wasn't bad. I played through 11. I enjoyed it. It was a good time. But it also kind of just like came and went. Like, it didn't really spark any kind of like revival of the franchise or anything, which is what I think Capcom was kind of hoping for. Like, I think part of the point of making a new one is to try to be like, hey, like, do you guys want like more Mega Man stuff? Like, what's up? Like, what are these sales looking like? Um, and so it's a little funny to me that it's kind of just like, yep, 11 didn't work. Anyways, we're gonna wait like almost 10 years, and then we're gonna try again with not 12, but Dual Overdrive. We saw
Which
tiny.
is basically 12, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, I think that honestly, I think part of the goal. I think this is a marketing thing. I think there's a worry about releasing a game that has a high number in the title, and they thought maybe if we give
That
it a
is in Final
subtitle,
Fantasy.
yeah. I think there was well no, but even Final Fantasy, there's some fear of that, right? Like so, like 16 didn't do like huge numbers. Um, I think
Yeah, I don't think that was the issue though.
I
But
mean, not the
I
yeah.
understand.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but I think there is this idea in the marketing world to be like, oh, like putting a big number in your title when it's not even like important to play them in order, like that might dissuade new people because, like, oh man, 12, like what? So I think the dual overdrive thing is meant to just be like a yeah, like we made a new Mega Man. Don't worry about any other Mega Man if you have no experience with Mega Man. This is a new Mega Man that you can jump right into.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the vibe.
And apparently the overview of the game from Capcom does say that this is the 12th mainline
Yes.
installment.
They
Yeah.
describe it as the 12th mainline game. They just don't want to call it 12. Uh
Yep.
yeah, I mean the little tiny snippets of gameplay we saw, it looks cute, it looks fun. I'm very curious what they're going to do with this one to try and differentiate it from like 11's attempt. Um I'm curious how they're going to target it as far as like scope and pricing because like even 11 was sold at like below standard MSRP because at the end of the day, if you're doing the core Mega Man formula, not a super long game, right? You got like 8 main stages and then you do like a run of 3 to 4 final stages and like call it a day. Um so yeah, there is a part of me that, especially because 11 happened, I kind of wish they tried like a different angle for Mega Man, like to bring it back again. Yeah, a lot of people were hoping they would tap into X after 11 happened. There's the forever dream of doing like a proper Legends 3, but I think that's never going to happen as much as I'd like it to. I just think there could have been like more interesting ways. Like when we got the reveal, I was both excited and like, oh, awesome, Mega Man. Also, we're just kind of trying again with mainline. All right, okay, cool. So look, we've seen so little. It's the tiniest little hint right now. I'm down for it either way. I'm just very curious what they're going to do to try and like make this one potentially have a larger splash than 11 had.
Cool. Yeah, I tried playing Mega Man games like maybe a year or two back, and I don't know, just didn't really click with me, and I wanna give it another chance,
Sure.
but it's just like
Well, like what?
I think because I didn't really know what to expect from a Mega Man game outside of
Yeah.
it just being like a side-scrolling action game.
Right.
I'm like, oh, this is really hard. Like this
Well,
is like
which one did you play out of curiosity?
I started from the beginning. I just played the first one.
Oh yeah. Well, especially just because you're also dealing with like not as many control options. You're not as maneuverable. Like, oh yeah, there's some difficulty going back to those, especially if you're used to like how new 2D action games feel. For sure.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably it.
My recommendation would always be just to try X. I think X has aged incredibly well and is the right midpoint of like, okay, they figured out some refinements, but this is still also a game from the 90s. Uh, that to me is like a really nice midpoint for like discovering the series and then maybe work your way back a little bit. Uh, but yeah, I get it. I get it.
Expedition 33 has gotten its thank you update. It's a quite a size. It's basically like a free DLC.
Yep.
In the short of it. It includes a new playable environment, taking the characters of Expedition 33 to quote Verso's Drafts, a whimsical storybook adventure with ties to a young Verso. Players will encounter celebratory gestrels,
Just I believe.
gestrels, surprising new locations, and an encounter with a sinister, powerful presence. New music tracks, challenging boss battles for late game players to overcome within the Endless Tower. New Pictos, costume, and gear. Photo mode, new text and user interface game localizations in Czech, Ukrainian, Latin American, Spanish, Turkish, Vietnamese, Thai, and Indonesian, bringing the total number of supported languages to 19. Added FSR4 support, including AMD temporal upscaling for sharper visuals and frame generation for smoother gameplay on compatible GPUs. If I do replay this game, I want to play it on PC. I want to see like the differences in my experience, like because I
Mm.
know I told you before that I want to like do a significant upgrade to my PC, hopefully sometime next year.
Right.
I think I like yeah, I really want to check that out. And the new quality of life improvements, other new features, and further improvements to the game's performance across platforms, including on handheld PC systems. Are you going to go back in and check this out?
Eventually, I got enough stuff that I'm already behind on that I do want to go back to because I intentionally never did the super boss because I figured we were getting more stuff, like they had kind of hinted as much. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go back and finish the game. I think I'm gonna wait till it's like very clear they're done doing any kind of content updates, like at all, because I don't even know if this is gonna be the last one, right? Um, I think once we know for sure that they're like, hey, like the game is done, we are not touching this anymore. I'll probably end up going back down the line sometime next year, I'm sure. But next couple months, I got enough catch up I'm doing right now.
Yeah. Like again, I like Expedition 33. I have no real feelings or need to go back immediately for this.
Sure.
When I inevitably replay the game, I'll probably check all that stuff out then.
Yeah.
We got a announcement of a new retro anime style co-op adventure game called Orbitals for Switch 2. This looks super sick. It definitely
Yes.
has like that PC Engine aesthetic to it,
100%.
at least in the cutscenes, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read the a little bit of the setup for this because I'm just like, this looks really cool. I don't know what this is about though, you know. Um, so Orbitals is an original game debut of indie developer Shape Farm, headquartered in Mitaka, Tokyo. Developed from the ground up for asymmetrical multiplayer, Orbitals invites players to grab a friend and blast off into a experience unlike any other. Really quick, it's just because it came out of my mind. I saw a really funny tweet. It's just like, oh, all of the games that were approved thanks to It Takes Two are finally being announced.
Yep. I was gonna say that exact. I was gonna share
That's
that exact thing because that
yeah,
100% that's part of what this is, right?
yeah,
Even
it's
though
funny.
there's absolutely their own take and spin and energy, that it's kind of hard to deny that this is like, oh yeah, this is clearly inspired by like the run of local co-op games that are, that studio style.
In Orbitals, players will team up and take on the roles of Maki and Amura, two inseparable explorers with a whole lot more determination than on-the-job experience. Working together, they will brave the perils of space to save their crumbling space station home from the dangers of a supernatural cosmic storm. Whether it's by using unique tools to open the path forward, piloting their spaceship through dangerous asteroid fields, or taking a break and soaking up the lavish anime-inspired atmosphere, players will embark on an intergalactic adventure and forge new bonds as friends together. Uh, yeah, and then they mentioned that it's developed in Unreal Engine 5. Um, and yeah, yeah, it's looks really, really cool.
Yeah, I love the
Um,
visual look of this game. Like that's I was actually I need to finish today, and by the time this is live, hopefully this video will be live. I was just gonna do like top games of 26 I'm looking forward to, and this is a late last second edition because I'm just like, oh, this looks sick as all hell. Like
yep, looks super dope. Now quickies for the rest of the episode for the news. One thing that again, it kind of toes the line. Like we don't need to go in depth about it, but we can talk about it if we want. There was a Tales of presentation where one of the lead Tales people basically mentioned like, hey, moving forward with the remaster projects, we're definitely going back to like older games,
yeah,
which is
which like
cool.
cool. I don't know what that means until we see them, but like sweet.
Yep,
I
yep,
like that general concept.
100%. And there's still I I don't know. I'm in a place now where I don't think it's gonna happen, but there has been like these on and off long-standing rumors about a Tales of Destiny remake. Don't know if that, I think like getting an announcement about that is going to actualize whether or not that's true or not.
Yeah.
But
I'm
Yeah.
I'm curious too what that entails. Like if they want to do a very heavy remake of it again, or if they just want to clean up the PS2 remake that already happened. Which obviously it has been far longer now since the PS2 than the PS2 version was to the original. But I think that already kind of gives them some building blocks for like how a 3D version of it would look. So is it like, do you want to take that version and then just clean that up and make it, look and be better for modern platforms, or do you want to do like a remake, where it's like brand new models entirely and entirely different look? We'll see.
All right, quickies. Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection is launching on March 27th. Pragmata is adding a Switch 2 version and is launching on April 24th, 2026. A demo is now available on PC and is coming later to consoles. Phantom Blade Zero is launching on September 9th for the PS5 and Steam and Epic Game Store. Saros has officially been delayed to April 30th. Originally was going to release on March 20th. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade demo is now up on Switch 2 and Xbox, and your save will carry over to the full game when it releases. And there are bonus items, the revival earrings and survival set that will be that you will get if you complete the demo and transfer your save. Neo 3 is getting a demo on January 29th. And for the Player Obscure Expedition 33 fans, there is now an official SKA plush replica up on the IGN store for $45. It does include like $12 flat rate shipping, so you're looking more around $60 after tax and everything if you're in the US. Outside of that, I don't know. Outside of US, I don't know. I've seen different things. So, yeah, so that's all the news for this week. Now we're going to get into what we've been playing for this week. Kevin, what you been playing?
So I wanted to share real quick just a little demo I tried out the other day. Game is not fully released yet. This is like kind of more of a preview demo. Game called Esoteric Ebb. Now, RPG, not JRPG really, but this is a game coming out. I think they said spring of next year. It is very, very obviously we wanted to make our own Disco Elysium kind of situation. Right down
Oh,
to
okay.
some of the art direction and UI choices, general style of gameplay. The big kind of twist on it, though, is that it is all through the lens of D&D. So, like, your main character is by default a cleric, but you have the 6 D&D attributes, but they all do the things that happen in Disco Elysium, where like each attribute has its own personality and chimes in on decisions you're making and that kind of thing. So like strength, for instance, is this very aggressive and honor bound like warrior personality that's very strict about like you must keep your word, do not break your word to this man, like type things. While intelligence is like a power hungry wizard that's just like you should be in charge. Like why should other people listen to you? Like you're an all powerful wizard. Who gives a shit? And so it's all like it's this D&D world and D&D statistics and concepts all applied to the Disco Elysium format. And I really like what I've played to this so far. It's very not shy about its inspirations. It hard opens with like references to both Disco Elysium and um, Planescape Torment. Just very on the nose with like what it's inspired by. But I've enjoyed the writing. I think there's the right balance of like it still gets into politics and ideologies a bit like Disco Elysium does, but it is also maybe silly is a hard word to pick because Disco Elysium's pretty silly in its own way, but like this feels a little bit more wacky in some ways, just because the fantasy. The outright fantasy layer allows it to do a couple more weird things. Like early on, you can encounter a little demon imp that's a lawyer, and there are conversations there that get funny. Yeah, just a really neat little game. I think if you like Disco Elysium, it's worth giving this one a shot. Or if you just like fantasy D&D stuff, like give it a look. Again, very straightforward concept that I think is very on the nose with what it's a mashup of, but really cool. Demos available, I think just on Steam for now. But game's not out yet. Hopefully, spring next year is the current plan. It's from the sound of it.
That sounds really sick.
Yeah.
That sounds definitely like a game I would be interested in checking out myself. So definitely gonna put that on the download the demo and wish list that.
Um, then one other thing I wanted to bring up real quick is that I have put more time into Octopath Traveler 0, and there is one thing we talked about in some of our early coverage of it that I now know is wrong. um,
Oh,
yeah, so
okay.
one of the things that is restricted early on, but you do unlock later in the game, is that you can basically cross train skills. So, you
Okay.
know how you have the learnable skills that you get from like chests or from path
Yep.
actions? Well, eventually you unlock this thing called the training grounds. And with the training grounds, you not only have a way of giving XP to your characters not actively in your party, but you also unlock the ability to master skills where you spend job points to then master a skill. And when you master it, you get it as a learnable skill item that you can then equip to other people. So it's still not quite the same as like Octopath 1 and 2, where, you know, you combine two classes and you get all the abilities from both. But it is a more granular kind of like, okay, cool. You have 3 equipable slots for active moves, 2 equipable slots for passives. Uh, and it can be things that you just find while exploring, but eventually you do also get the ability to be like, oh man, I really like the move this one character has, but I don't really like anything else about them. I want that move on this character I like. And that gives you a bit more refined control. There are still some limitations, like, yes, it has to be a skill that matches the weapon types the character can use. In the case of magic, anyone can equip it, but obviously it's better given to characters with high magic stats. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, a lot more room for customization and borrowing abilities from each other. So, like, the main character training as different classes, much more important in late game, because even if you don't want them to be that class, there might be a move they learn as that class where you're like, oh man, I really need to like learn this move so this other character can have it. Like, I think as far as I'm aware so far, only the main character as a cleric learns a revive spell. So like
Yeah.
that's a thing that would be nice to have like another cleric learn if you're not going to use the main character as one. So that's just like one big thing that I was like, oh, like they just locked this off till, because I'm at like 20 hours in or something when I finally got that, or maybe 15 hours, whatever. Like I'm a pretty healthy bit in, and I just got that.
Wait. How did you get it?
It's like right after
Because
chapter 4 of Rekindlers of Faith or whatever. So like after you get the merchant, basically.
oh, okay, that's like the last thing I did. So when it came to that stuff. So interesting. Interesting. Yeah, cuz like I need to start getting people that know how to revive for sure.
Yeah,
So,
can't just be
alrighty,
using
cool.
olives all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I have played a little bit, nothing too crazy, but a little bit of a Mori, which is one of our Campfire catalog games. And it's cool. It's cool, I it's simplistic. Like the combat so far is simplistic. But the just general vibes of it all is like, because for those that don't know, Omori is a JRPG, but it implements these like it implements horror elements.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't say it is like a full on, at least as of right now, it's not I want my mommy, Mr. Squidward,
Yeah.
but
It's super
it is
depressing Earthbound instead of it's kind of the
I
vibe.
wouldn't I mean like yeah, I can kind of get where how you got there, but yeah, and so basically the combat I think is really interesting where you'll fight one to multiple enemies and uh it has like a Fire Emblem triangle weapon triangle type situation, except for instead of it being weapons, it is your emotions. So you technically have 4 emotions. You have neutral, and then you have the ones that really matter being happy, sad, or angry. And so like depending on like what emotion the enemy is, you use your skills to try and get your party members to a certain to the emotion that it's stronger than to uh deal more damage. And like depending on which emotion you are, like either you will like if you're angry, if I remember correctly. Your offensive is higher, but your defense is lower. That type of example. And it's cool. Like, I'm digging it so far. Again, very early, but and there's definitely been some segments where I'm just like, "Oh, I don't love this from a horror perspective." But it's not I want my mommy Mr. Squidward level of scary yet. Um Now we're going to get into the topic of the show for this week. We're just going to do our best of type situation.
Yeah.
I made a list of games, or not games, of categories in the JRPG space that I think we can discuss. And we're not trying to like come together. We're just kind of like talking our own
Yeah,
personal
this is us with
thing.
our favorite things from this year, and obviously also limited by like what we've each played because like I haven't played
Yeah,
everything Cam's played this year, vice versa. There's a lot of stuff that came out this year that I did sadly not keep up on, at least for JRPGs. I actually made a little list of like everything I've either completed or got like pretty far into, and wow, am I realizing in retrospect how many remasters I played this year? Like more than original new
you played a
games.
lot.
There's
Yeah,
some
because
original new
normally
stuff
I was,
too, but like a lot of remasters and remakes.
yeah, and some of those you would have played on your own anyway.
Sure.
Um, But there were definitely instances where I'm like, "Hey, I think we should cover this, but I can't play it. Do you wanna play it?" And you're like,
Right.
"Yeah, sure, I'll play Tales of Grace's F remastered,"
Yeah.
like
I'll play Final Fantasy Tactics again. That's not an issue.
yeah, yeah. That was literally it, just yeah. Um, Best protagonist.
Best protagonist.
For me, it's Estelle. It just is. Like,
All right, guys, start the tracker on what percentage of Cam's picks are going to be trails.
here's the
Um,
thing, no. Not everything's gonna be Trails. Everything's
yeah.
gonna be Trails, I promise.
Um, best protagonist for this year. It's tough because I wanna not necessarily just start going through the remaster loophole, especially for something like that, right? Because it's not like
Yeah.
the protagonist is like a new thing to any of these remakes.
No, but,
Um,
it is what it
it
is.
is what it is. No, I get you. I get you. Uh, I think I might have to go with I. Yeah, if I'm not ruling out remakes or remasters, I really like Ramza from Tactics. I'm not going to be picking
That's what I
Tactics
thought
for
you were gonna
everything on
pick.
here, but
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what I thought
because
you were gonna
like,
pick, so
look, I did joke before we got into this that it was going to be Expedition 33 sweep once again, for me. But I like the protagonist in that game, but I don't think that's one of its like biggest strengths, at least in terms of like it has appropriate protagonists, but they're not protagonists I'd necessarily like. Um, Ramza, I love a lot. Like that's just a classic. That's definitely one of those like blueprint characters for me, where I'm just like, yes,
sure.
do it, fight
Mhm.
against the system.
Antagonist slash villain. Now I have 2 paths here,
Sure,
because I personally it's tough because like, with the story that they're trying to tell, I do see Verso as an antagonist.
sure.
Do you agree with that statement?
Um, Antagonist, yes. I think there's
He's not a
absolutely a
villain.
reading. Yeah, yeah,
That's why I said antagonist slash villain, because
yeah,
there's a
yeah, yeah.
difference.
No, for sure. And I agree with you. It's a bit of a play on what it means to be an antagonist, especially within a video game, because like you play as the dude for a large chunk of
Yeah,
the game. But like I get what you're saying with that. Yes. Like I
yeah.
absolutely
Because
I feel that argument.
the thing that's tough is that outside of Gustav, all of the like kind of main characters are very morally gray.
Sure.
And so it's just kind of like, yeah, they're like the character you're playing as, but are they the protagonist? I wouldn't say so.
I mean, you can be a
Um,
protagonist and be morally gray. Like I mean, Tales of Vesperia basically opens up with, "Hey, what if your main character thought murder
yes,
was okay to like solve the world's problems?"
yes, but like,
But for what you like.
no, it's not even for what I like. It's just I think that based off of the context of the story,
Mm.
he is an antagonist.
Sure.
Um, so that is something that goes on my mind there. But if we're just talking about all the games I played this year, Galleon, dude.
That was gonna be one of my. I had a similar thing with you, where I was like, look, I got a crossroads right now, and Galleon's on one side of it.
Yes, dude. Galleon is dude. Galleon is the fucking guy.
What does it say about
And
a JRPG podcast in the JRPG genre where we're going to be picking remasters for all these categories right now?
that's why I went both sides. It's just like if we're talking about a new game, because here's the thing, like, I'm not trying to say that there weren't other JRPGs that came out this year. There were, and there's some that we didn't get to. There's some that we did get to that didn't,
Yeah.
just we're probably not going to bring up. Um, but like Expedition 33 is like the big one, right? Like there
Sure.
are other ones like 100 Line. There are a few indies that came out that we just didn't get to play that like, and they also came out like very recently that we just haven't gotten to, like Demon School and like the I forgot the garbage one that came out.
Kingdoms of Dump. Yeah, I want to check that one out.
Kingdoms of Dump. Yeah,
Yeah,
like there's that one too.
that one
Like
looks super
we
cool. I
haven't
really want to play that.
yeah, yeah, and we haven't gotten to them yet.
Yeah.
So like it's really hard. It really is kind of like Expedition 33 versus, and again, there are other RPGs that we played.
Yeah. I
Here's the thing. What about no, that's on my mind. What about what's his face from Octopath Zero?
August.
August. Dude's fucking evil.
Trying to
Dude's
think.
so evil.
Yeah. He's. I mean, like like all of the Octopath Zero antagonists are absolute awful villains. Like awful in the sense of like just truly despicable, terrible people.
Yeah.
Across the board. Like
Yeah.
they like even like because Octopath in general tends to be a little darker, despite what people might expect from the art style. Um, but even by that standard, like there are some messed up people as the antagonists in Zero.
Yeah.
All
Like
eight of them.
August, like yeah, August is a like I think an honorable mention
Yeah,
just because his stuff just isn't as long as I think
sure.
we thought it would be.
Yeah,
And like he like honestly like he could have been just like an end game JRPG villain
yeah.
that just didn't, and
Well,
that kind of sucks.
yeah. Well, the thing that I realized too about Zero after the fact, or not after the fact, but just like in the middle of it, it took me forever to realize that the part of the play on this game is that it's 8 villains instead of 8 protagonists, and their names also spell out Octopath.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
huh.
that's the idea. Instead of 8 stories of protagonist of different characters, it's 8 villains that your main character has to deal with.
Oh,
Took me a bit to figure that
okay.
out as like a thematic thing. Anyways, I will also say I can't, for spoiler reasons, I cannot get into specifics or name names. But I will say the other choice I was very leaning towards for villain, aside from Galleon, not Verso or Renoir, who I also really like in Expedition 33, but one of the antagonists of 100 Line. Just
Mm,
by nature of it being the visual novel that it is, visual novel slash tactical game, and some of the revelations and things that go down in its later chapters, there's some real good shit there. I can't really
uh,
say more because I don't want people to know who bad guys are, but like, yeah, villains.
and you said you're trying to do the non-main routes first before finishing the game, correct?
Well, so I finished 100 Line's weird because you effectively play a whole ass video game and then that video game ends up being like the prologue. It's like, hey,
Yeah, yeah, you told me
congratulations, you
that. Yeah.
finished the opening story at like 40 hours in. Yeah, so I've finished the main one and I have made very heavy progress in like multiple later parts. I have not done the true ending yet because I'm being dumb and trying to do everything. So but what I have seen and experienced, holy shit, there's some great antagonist stuff in that game. I just can't name names.
Fair enough. Uh, yeah, for me, I like again, like just out of what I
no.
played this
Galleon's a
year,
strong choice, man. I gotcha.
Galleon's the pick for me.
Galleon is a
But
large reason why Lunar is as loved as it is. Like, there's multiple things about that game that's great, but Galleon is such a fantastic villain that, like, yes. By that same token, too, actually, I also got to give a quick shout out to my boy Luca Blight from
yeah,
Suikoden 2.
yep,
One of the most
yep.
outright just. What's great about Luca is that I feel like he's such a great play on the idea of like, look, man, we don't even like, yeah, he does kind of have a tragic backstory, but it's not about that. Like, we're not trying to like, you don't want to empathize with this
We're
guy.
not trying to sympathize with this guy.
Not at all. He is just an asshole. He is just an awful person. And there you go. Like, he's a little more grounded and interesting than just like evil dark god that wants dark things for reasons. But he's also not like they don't try to humanize him in the sense of like, oh, feel sorry for him or he's trying to do this for the right reasons. No, he's just terrible, and I love that about him.
Yeah, I would say like because I haven't played Suikoden 2, but I do know that like people say that dude is like top, like arguably a top 10 JRPG villain.
As far as just being
like,
a straight up villain, yes.
Yeah, just like evil guy. Best combat. I'm going Trails.
Okay, that's fair. And here's the problem, right? I still have yet to. Oops.
I know.
Yeah. So I feel like I need to explain my position here real quick. My answer is Expedition 33.
Okay,
but not because
you're not a bad person.
You know, I know. But I think what bothers me a little bit about Expedition 33 combat like conversation is that everyone is so fixated on the parries. And like, I actually mostly agree. I don't really love the parries in that game. I don't think it's one of the stronger aspects of it. But I absolutely fucking love that every character has their own little like mini game combat flow, and how different they all are, and even what kind of like different demands they make of like what it takes to be good at them. Like Verso style is so like, you know, easiest concept out there, but it requires that you actually have reflexes and execution and timing. While other characters are like, oh yeah, this is easy to do in the sense of like, you just pick a command and do it, but there's a degree of planning and keeping track of resources and like understanding the flow of why you want to do this move followed by this move followed by this move. Really engaging stuff that I think makes movesets much more interesting and like actually demands you to use a lot more of your kit than I think some RPGs end up. Because like I feel like there are so many RPGs where my characters know like 20 moves and I realistically use 2 of them. You know, it's like that's the one that does the damage, that's the one that heals. Whereas I think the whole like flow aspect of 33, whether it's Miles' whole stance system or keeping track of the elemental nodes for Lune, just really interesting stuff that gives you a reason to do certain builds and combo flow and actually use a lot more of the kit and more reasons to experiment with them, that I just absolutely loved.
Yeah, I love that for you.
I know that didn't work for you. I know that
you.
wasn't your experience, but I ate that.
I just like felt like that once I had something that worked, I'm like, this is what I'm sticking with. And I, you know, it's cool. How do I? This is one of those instances where like, because you know that there are people that like something that a concept I never understood was like, oh yeah, I don't want to play this game, but I'll watch someone play it. And I'm like, why would you do that? You know, that type of thing.
Sure.
Like, because like one of my friends, one of my roommates, right? When Marvel Rivals came out, for example, I was like, hey, you play Marvel Rivals? And he's like, no. I'm like, and then but I'll see him watch people play Marvel Rivals, and I'm like, what? Like you could play this?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And I think that, and this isn't like watching a streamer stream. This is just more like watching gameplay. I'm like, why do you do this when you can just play it?
Yeah.
And this is an instance where it's like I appreciate seeing other people do the things that they do in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can appreciate that. I don't go out my way to look for it, but I'm like, oh, it's cool that you can do this in the game.
Right.
For me, don't care in the slightest. Kind of like Breath of the Wild, right? Like how I'm very mixed bag on Breath of the Wild, but the physics stuff, very cool. I like seeing how people play with that. I don't care about that whatsoever,
right?
But still very cool to see.
Yeah,
like that's kind of where I stand with the combat in Expedition 33. Um,
Yeah, you recognize there's cool things that some people can do, but you're just not. Your brain is not getting any particular joy from trying to figure that out, or yeah,
nope. Yep, absolutely.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
di- now, as someone who again really wants to play this game, but also has not gotten like seen anything real come from this side of things, like what is the tactics gameplay like in Hundred Line? Because you're a big tactics guy too, so like, do you enjoy it? Like,
Yeah, no,
what is
I like the tactics gameplay in Hunter Line. It honestly plays out almost more like a puzzle game in some ways, because
okay?
it's very low number, right? Like 6 damage is
Uh-huh.
a lot of damage.
Okay.
You early on are having attacks that do like 1 to 3, and enemies have like as low as 3 health, as high as like 12, or if it's a really tough enemy, you're getting into the 20s or whatever. The thing about 100 line that's interesting is that character move sets have a lot of variety in terms of how they target. So it's like, oh, the main character, for instance, has an attack that hits like a row of 5 squares, or this character has an attack where you hit like a cross shape from this much distance. Um, and there's a whole mechanic where when you kill certain enemies, you get a bonus turn. So that's where the almost kind of puzzle aesthetic comes from, because it's like, oh, if you have the right lineup of characters and you're paying attention to enemy formations the right way, you can really set up a combo where it's just like wipe these guys out, wipe these guys out, wipe these guys out, and like really clear numbers and do a bunch of damage
That
because you
sounds
picked the
really
right order.
good.
Yeah, no, it is very good, and that actually is like another that was going to be like my runner up for this year, honestly. Um, it's very satisfying and very simplified. I think where it gets a little lost is that because especially like it feels really good in the initial quote prologue playthrough. It gets a little more weird in the post part because the difficulty starts to like really be all over the place. You'll find yourself in matches that are super freaking easy and are basically just there to have a fight occasionally. And then other times you'll have a fight where you're suddenly like, oh man, going down this route, I am not prepared for this fight. Like my guys are not strong enough for this. So it gets a little wonky there, I think, just in terms of like a difficulty pacing aspect. Uh, but when it's fine tuned right, there is definitely like a really rewarding feeling from like I got this, combo going where I just have not stopped acting and are just taking care of these enemies no problem.
Dope. Yeah, that sounds really sick. Um, I do want to shout out Xenoblade Chronicles X's combat. I do like it a lot. I do like the call outs. I like the color coordination. It's very MMO-y, and if that's not your vibe, then like that's not going to be your vibe. But
Yep.
if it is your vibe, like outside of two, it's my favorite Xenoblade combat system.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really want to get back to Xenoblade so bad.
Yeah, no, I've heard lots of great things from, including folks who are into X, but understand that like there were definitely some UI issues and like information to the player as far as like how to keep certain combos and things going, that the remaster really fixed up. Uh, I cannot say I had the same experience just because, as you said, if you're not into the MMO style, like that midpoint of turn-based and action and tab target, whatever you want to call it. Uh, it's just not for me. I've learned that about myself. I just don't. I would rather a straight up turn based game or a straight up action game. Um, but
Oh, for sure.
I've heard
I
nothing but
agree
great
with
things from
that.
people that like it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like it's definitely not my intended or ideal system, but like for what it is, I really like it. So yeah, shout out to Xenoblade Chronicles X for me. What are some other ones that I really liked? Um
I think it's worth shouting out. I would have rather seen this in a game where you only had 8 party members, but Octopath Zero bringing over the back row and like I think it's a very
yes.
good refinement on what was already working in Octopath. Like I think Octopath is a great example of how to take very traditional, simple turn-based combat, but add enough little interesting bells and whistles that do add a tactical depth that's super cool. Like you have the stuff they took from Bravely Default with doing, having those points, brave points to do multiple actions, but then you add in the break system with that, and now you add in having the back row so you can flip characters. Really nice refinement, I think, of excellent execution on like trying to have classic gameplay, but making it far more engaging than just like, yep, these are the like again, the classic moves that make a character very strong, and I'm just going to use them.
Yeah, I think I mean again, I think Octopath probably has like the best turn-based mechanics
Yeah,
in general. Like that's just like pure turn-based.
yeah.
Um, but
How?
yeah, Trail. What?
Oh no, go ahead. What were you going to say about Trails?
Yeah, I was gonna say Trails is great because they brought back like the things that I missed from uh the Sky trilogy, which I honestly didn't know if they would, being like the laundry list of different orbment arts that you could do and things like that. And yeah, it really is just like a blend of a lot of the different mechanics that have been a part of the series since the beginning. Um, that is just really, smart to do for a remake like this where they bring back follow-up stuff from the Cold Steel arc and those type of things
Yeah.
that yeah, I really really love and it's great. Yep.
I was going to say, how are we feeling about in retrospect now? Neither of us finished this game, but I think we both put decent time into it. How are we feeling about Pokemon Legends ZA combat? Like now down the line, because that was, I think, the really big question with that game was like, oh, like they're redoing the combat, like it's even more different than like Legends Arceus was, and it's such a battle focused game too. Really, like that game is primarily about trainer battles. Uh, how we feel on that? Is that, do we like it? Do we want more Pokemon games like that? What's the vibe?
Uh, I like it. I wouldn't be against more games like that. I think that it's like for those that say like, oh, it gets really repetitive, like I can see that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
so does every Pokemon.
Um, I think you're not wrong, but I think the difference is the amount of like kind of like button mashing
Mm,
that gets exhausting for people more than just like, oh, it's turn based and you're probably going to have a Pokemon with the same moves doing the same moves over. Like
right.
that's a little bit different from my perspective at least.
I say I
That
can see
yeah,
that.
like yeah, I need I again another game I very much would like to get back to hopefully soon. Best exploration slash gameplay.
I guess I'll go first. I
Oh,
just had
okay,
that pause
okay.
there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, sorry.
no, it's okay. Yeah, within JRPGs specifically, because if I was talking about like RPGs in general, I would actually love to shout out Avowed real quick. There's a lot that game does that's kind of just fine, but the exploration pillar is something I think Avowed really nailed in a great way. It is their ship behind this waterfall game to the maximum extent taken. Like there is just always going to be little hidden pathways and little treasure chests and stuff to find. And the loot gets a little repetitive, but man, does the sense of like finding stuff just stay consistently great that whole game. Um, More in the JRPG sector, I feel like I would probably go with like as old school as it feels, like Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD. I really like the sense of world exploration and kind of the new areas and things they add. There's still a bit of that kind of classic dungeon crawler aspect to some of the like spells and stuff you learn, where it's like, oh, I gotta cast the spell to not take damage from floor damage tiles, or I'm gonna use this ability to try and avoid like certain encounters. Um, there's just a general sense to like how exploration and traveling the world feels in that game that just feels really nice to me. It's like cozy, but uh, updated as well.
Yeah, like the sense of adventure in Dragon Quest, specifically Dragon Quest 2 is like so good. It's so good. Um Exploration in and of itself, fine. Like I'm not
Sure.
crazy about it personally. Um I think, I again, like I don't fall under this umbrella, but I feel like you can't not mention Expedition 33 just because like once that game does open up, if
Sure.
you choose to engage with it, there's so much to do, right? There's so much to explore and like the world map is great, like super cool that they did that. So I do want to give that its flowers there. Um I do like, like I can't not mention Trails just in the sense of like how that world evolves over time, over events in the game. Like whether you consider that exploration or not, that's fine. But that is like one of the things that like one of the key pillars of what makes Trails special. Is how that world evolves as time passes and things like that and events happen. Um, Exploration and gameplay. Hmm. I mean,
I think that.
exploration. Like, I honestly think I have to give it to Xenoblade.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean,
I,
that makes sense. That's like kind of the main pillar of that game, right? Is like, here's this big old area you need to go explore and advance, and yeah, that
yeah,
checks out.
yeah. I loved engaging with that, and I also want to shout out Daemon X Machina.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, I really loved like flying around on that map as well. That's a game I desperately want to go back to as well. But yeah, the big open world mech games.
Yep.
Did you have anything else?
No, I think I'm good on that one.
Okay. Uh, Art direction. I mean, it's Expedition 33. Like,
That's definitely like pretty high up there. I mean, it's tough, right? Because I one of the things that we were excited about, and some people are maybe more excited about, uh, is that like EX33 is a visual style that we don't get as often in the genre, and so it was
hmm
kind of cool seeing like a new game come out with that direction, and I think it does look great. There's like a little bit of that like what I would call like double A, like where it's triple A visuals, but there's every now and then just like, oh, like the faces in this scene or the way the body rigging is here. Like there's an occasional moment where you're like, oh, that was kind of stiff and awkward. But I think in terms of like art direction and the world design, I love a lot of the environments and biomes. At the same time, though, especially for the kind of stuff that makes my brain like get really hyped and happy, um, I do really love the visual charm of like Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D. Like I think that the way they approach doing the HD 2D approach there, uh, it's just very bright and colorful. Like I really like what Octopath does, but I think Octopath tends to be a little more desaturated. They try to go for slightly muter colors across the board, uh, whereas like Dragon Quest is so bright and so colorful.
Yep.
And there's such an identity to like the monster designs and the direction with like how character clothing and armor looks. There's just that touch from Toriyama that's like you can't divorce it, you know. That is his look, even if he wasn't necessarily firsthand involved anymore at this point. That I really love.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Like Octopath is going for that more like again, even though it's a 2D game and like for some reason in 2025 people see 2D game they think it's not going to be like that it can't be like grounded or mature. That is what that series is and the use of color helps give that vibe.
Mhm.
But yeah, Dragon Quest is beautiful. The way that they kind of created their own version of that HD2D look. And the colors are really, really great. Um, so for sure. Um, how is like outside of the character designs, how's the art direction in 100 Line?
Uh it's solid. It's fine. I mean, there's monster designs that I think are really neat. Environments are fairly standard-ish, just because it is like a the world post-apocalypse kind of vibe. So it's like ruined buildings and streets and that kind of vibe. Uh, I think the game looks good. I don't know outside of character designs how much I would. And to be honest, I'm not huge on the character designs. I don't love the art style of like a lot of the Kodoka games. Like it's just not my vibe as much. Um,
Okay.
but like it definitely has its sense of style and design, certainly.
Okay. Cool. Best music.
It's Expedition 33, right? Like I think this is the one. We even said this during TGA's, where it was like, look, if there was going to be a category where I'm just not even going to try and argue otherwise, like
Yeah.
that's the one for them. Like I really do think, which again, kudos to their composer, where this was his first like actual full score, at least within the game. I don't know the guy's full career, but I know this was his first full work in gaming, an actual full proper score. Obviously, he has music experience. You don't just do this out of nowhere. But yeah, absolutely love the music in this game. There are some other ones, I can definitely shout out. I think Octopath Zero, Octopath in general as a franchise has really great music and themes, lots of diversity to them too. Uh, that I think is something that series flexes very well. There's lightheartedness and joy that comes from like the Dragon Quest games. Obviously, we've now both played Lunar and like getting that back from over one. I will say actually, here's my main runner up, and it could be pretty tight for me. Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4, because God damn it, Toby Fox. Oh my god. There are some incredible tracks in chapters 3 and 4 that are so good, and it's different, right? Like totally different ends of the spectrum of like style and even instrumentation and what's available. But two absolute banger soundtracks in this year.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's, I would give my vote to Expedition 33. I I think one of the things that though that has affected me negatively about that soundtrack is just that we're we keep hearing the same few songs over and over again
Yeah.
that I'm just like, what other like I know there's so much music in this game. What like
No, like
let's hear some other stuff.
yeah, no, live performances and events and stuff lately have definitely leaned into like Alicia or like Unvi de Painter or Unvi de Tamer. Like those are like the ones that really get brought up a lot. But there is more than that for sure. I have been listening to the soundtrack a few times. I've pre-ordered the vinyl, the smaller one, not the full complete one, because I'm not crazy like that. Uh, but no, there's a lot of great tracks, and I agree though. Like, there's definitely like the 2 to 3 that just end up being the go-to for, this game. This soundtrack's amazing. Listen to this, and it's like, okay, yes, those are the handpicked ones that people keep bringing up.
Yeah. And what's the other thing I was gonna say? Uh I here's the thing. It would have been tough for me, because Trails is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, specifically like Sky 1 and 2. Like they both
Mhm.
are just like um super good. But I actually prefer the original soundtrack to the new soundtrack because there's a lot of jazz
Mhm.
in the soundtrack. And along with the jazz, there are literal solos. They changed the solos in the remake, and I like the original solos better.
The classic that's always a fear with remakes and redoing, because that was even my reaction with 3 Reload a little bit, where I really like some of the new tracks in Reload and I like some of the new like redone songs, but there's some songs where I'm like, I see what you're going for with this rework, but I kind of like the original better. That's a shame.
Yeah. So
Do
like
they
it's because well, go ahead.
do they give you an option for like original soundtrack in the game? Like, is
I
there a way
don't think
to?
they do. I
Mm,
don't think they do.
yeah.
But yeah, because like in the battle theme, um, there's a sorry, I'm thinking about the song now. I don't think it's the battle theme actually, but I know there's like Leaston Fortress where there's a piano solo and the piano solo is different. And I'm like, nah, dog. The person previously cooked on that. Like, yeah. So I wish that they, um, fixed, not fixed, but like I wish they just kept it.
Mm.
It's still a great solo, just like it's just not the same as the original.
Right, it's not hitting the same way
Um,
for you.
it's not in the same way.
Yeah,
Like if I showed you like, oh, this is the original and this is the new one, you'd be like, yeah, the first one's better. But still, like one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. Like it's an absolute, like it would be an absolute classic if more people play Trails. And so, but like I just think that how do I explain it? I might get some heat for this. This is ultimately a compliment though.
uh-huh.
I think that the Expedition 33 soundtrack, like collectively, there are obviously certain songs that obviously show the French influence, of
Hmm.
course. I think outside of a few songs like Monoko's theme that are so like just identifiable,
Yeah,
it's for a lot of that soundtrack to me, it's just like very just high quality music
hmm,
more than like when I think about this song, I think about this moment. When I think about this
sure.
song, I think about this moment.
No, I
Like,
get that.
and I like with Trails, like that is different. Like when I listen to certain songs, I'm like I'm thinking of this specific moment in the game. I'm thinking of this specific moment in the game, and like that to me is more complimentary for a soundtrack than just high quality music, right?
Sure. No,
Like
the strong sense
like
of identity with each track and what it lines up with in game, whether that's a particular
exactly like
character's theme or, a boss theme that's
mhm.
specific to that boss, whatever. Like I get what you're saying for sure.
Yeah. And I feel like that is the case for like a lot of the more, and I'm not saying that this is Expedition 33, even though it does give off the vibe, like the more blockbuster-esque
Yeah.
titles, right? Where like, God of War 2018 and Ragnarok. Like, yeah, that's like I know that game has really great music.
Yeah.
I can tell you the one song that like,
Right. Well, I mean
it
that also falls into what some people jokingly call like the John Williams effect, right? Which is not a slight against John Williams, but the idea that like so many people in games so many composers in games now they try to do things like, oh, we're trying to do like an orchestral, like we're trying to score this like a movie, and it's like that's cool, man, but it doesn't a lot of it ends up tending to end up blend in together, and you lose a lot of that diversity and, as we're saying here, like identity in the tracks, where it's just like there's so many more interesting things you can do with your soundtrack than just like score a film.
yeah. Yep. 100% agree with you. Best narrative. Now, I haven't even played this game. I feel like we should just give it a 100 line. I just feel like we should just give it. Let's
uh
just decide we give it a 100 line.
100 Lines my runner up.
Okay.
Yeah. And my number one is obviously the incredible, the impeccable Deltarune chapter 3 and 4.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I got to give it to Toby Fox. I'm sorry. It's not even complete yet, and the man is just cooking with everything he makes. I don't like I just Toby Fox
Listen,
frustrates me that he exists, and that I have to
when
compare
Delta
my life
wh-
to him.
when Deltarune is done, we'll talk about it.
It's part of the journey, but I get it. I get it. You want to wait. You want to wait. Fine, wait.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Okay.
It's so good, Cam.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, 100
There's an
line,
old
shout out
man
to 100
turtle
line.
who is everything I aspire to be.
Sure. I don't know, that's all I can do is just like, okay. Um yeah, shout out to 100 line, shout out to Trails. And again, Expedition 33.
Yeah. Oh
Like,
no, I actually like
when,
still great.
yeah, I know when it gets there, like it's really fascinating. Again, just like very ambitious, for sure. So,
Yeah.
uh, I'm not afraid to give it its flowers, even though not everything worked, for me.
Also, shout out to, I mean, this is a remake situation, so they didn't really change anything here, but Final Fantasy Tactics also just really holds up.
Oh yeah, classic.
Yeah.
Um, oh, Dragon Quest 2.
Oh, yeah, and that one added a lot. That added a
Yep,
lot.
yep.
Yeah, that actually, I
And
was going to
from
bring
what?
that up a little bit for one of our upcoming categories, because I think it's going to
Okay.
win there for me, but
Yeah, and then from when uh for just from what I've heard, Octopath Traveler 0 also like very very good once you get farther into the
yeah.
story.
I mean, excellent villains at minimum. I've heard nothing but incredible things too about like the true ending of that game. Like it's just some like peak momentum hype shit type stuff that's like just what a way to close it out kind of stuff. And I'm not there
Hmm.
yet, so I don't know. But I've seen a lot of people praise that game's like full true ending type stuff.
Dope. I'm trying to think about if there's anything else in narrative. Oh, I mean, I'm gonna shout out Lunar One.
Oh, sure. I mean, by that token, Suikoden into right? Like, there are some classics that
Yeah,
are just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yep, these are just as good as they were the day they were written back in the '90s. Like, awesome
Yep.
stuff. Please don't sleep on the classics. There's cool stuff that's new today, but
Best remake.
so here's the thing. This is a two-path situation again, because I feel like best remake is a category where you can interpret it one of two very different ways. There's the
Okay.
best game that is a remake, and then there's the best like example of the craft of remaking. You know what I mean? Like there's games that are incredible, but also in terms of how they improve over the original is like extremely minimal. I think a great example of this to me would be like Resident Evil 4, where I'm like, oh yeah, like 4 remake, awesome game, absolutely love it. How much did it improve on the original one and like really brought it ahead? The graphics are better, you know, but it's they're still both over the shoulder shooters. They still involve a lot of the same like elements. Like it's not that big of a leap. Awesome game. But the remake aspect to me is just like, yeah, cool. Like you made 4 again. Sweet. Um and so with that in mind, like I kind of hit a weird spot with this where oh wait, I forget. Are we breaking up remake and remaster? Because it might have me change some of my
We
answers.
are.
Okay, that's right. We are splitting those. That's tough. Cause with remake in mind, it's weird. Okay, here's one weird thing, real quick. I'm just gonna say this to like lay this out right now. Um, uh, they call Final Fantasy. Did Tactics get officially called remake, or do they just call it Evil East Chronicles? Because it's definitely a remaster, not a remake.
Yeah, it's just called Final Fantasy Tactics: The Evil East
Okay, yeah, they
Chronicles.
didn't use remake. That was just like fans were saying that a lot. I think for me in remaster space or in remake space, I probably have to give it to Dragon Quest 1 and 2.
I don't particularly blame you for that.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, for me, it's Trails for sure,
sure.
but it's like because the thing is, like in reality, there wasn't a whole lot of remakes, but like there were also a lot of
We
remasters,
had a lot of
which is
remasters
why
this
I
year.
wanted, which is why I wanted to separate. I wanted to kind of like give both their flowers.
Sure.
Um, but like great remakes this year for sure.
Oh yeah.
Um, for remaster, um, it's tough. I mean, like I think like the one that's worth shouting out in the sense of like just the work put into it is Tactics, right?
100%.
Um,
Like outside
but I
of
also, well, outside of Ride Out Remastered, I actually think
oh
Ride
sure.
Out Remastered is like that is almost a remake.
It is. It's
It is.
that weird kind of line between remake and remaster, right? Like
Yep.
they remade the environments because it used to be like just, pre-rendered background type stuff and now it's an actual full 3D environment. They brought the combat from 2 into 1 because 1 was like a fixed camera and a lot bigger headache to play. Uh it's yeah. And that's kind of in that area, right, of like how much it improves. Because there are games I liked more than Rhino Remastered, but if we're just talking about how much it like updated, fixed up, and like made better, Rhino Remastered's up there. That's a very strong pick for that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, because like tactics, I think the biggest thing there, I have mixed feelings on some of the visual stuff. Like I think the battle maps and environments look great, but they definitely did something with the way they handled upscaling sprites where like it's not the full blown like pixel softened aesthetic, but everyone's wider and just has like it just doesn't look quite right. It's almost like they took a 4:3 image and stretched it for the pixel sprites specifically.
Mm.
That's just kind of bizarre. Like I don't know if you've ever seen like side by side comparisons, but you look at like the Ramza sprite from PS1 and then the Ramza sprite in remake, and it's like, oh yeah, like that's a wider guy. That's the Kiryu to Donley thing that we just saw with Yakuza. Um,
Huh.
but everything else from a remaster perspective, like the voice acting, top of the line, like which was the thing I did not expect to think going in. I'm usually very skeptical about adding voice acting to games that didn't originally have it, and they did such a damn good job with that in Tactics. Um, some of the quality of life stuff, even though they did keep it very annoyingly difficult in some segments. What were you gonna ask?
I was waiting for your finish your thoughts on
Oh
tactics.
yeah. Uh, so like that's a really big one, and then like one that I think the remaster aspects is kind of weak, but ultimately the game is still incredible. Suikoden 1 and 2. Like I feel like the
That's what I was
remaster
gonna
aspects.
ask you. I was gonna ask where you stood on that.
Yeah, I think like at the end of the day, if I just picked like a favorite game that happens to be a remaster, it's probably Suikoden 2. But in terms of like what was done to the game, that one's pretty bare minimum. You know, like they redid the visuals and the new visuals look fine. Um, but like they didn't really change a whole lot outside of that. Like there's some minor quality of life stuff, like there's an autosave, but the autosave only happens when you walk by a save point. So it's like they basically just saved you the act of, you know, checking in at the save point. Uh yeah, like I think I think as games they are still great. I absolutely recommend playing them, but if I'm going off of like how much was enhanced, I would definitely lean more into like the Rydao and Tactics Camp for sure.
Yeah, I think like I honestly would give it to Rideout. I think that just like it's just really cool what they did with that remaster and it's as a game like there are just like some general design things that I'm just like not crazy about. And that's mainly just cuz like Alice isn't super into the action RPG genre. Like when you're in combat some of the um movement feels a little wooden, a
Sure. A
little
little stiff. Yeah.
tight, stiff, yeah. But in general, like they were able to make a really cool, unique battle system, and still implement the SMT aspects to it that I really like. Again, one of the games I need to go back to and finish. Um, but yeah, really, really, really dope. Um, what are the I'm happy that Xenoblade Chronicles X is on Switch. I'm kind of hoping that they just do a Switch 2 update at some point. But the reality of that, I'm
Yeah.
not too sure about.
Obviously,
Um,
Lunar, which we've talked about a bit off and
yeah,
on.
and then like Lunar's there just for the sense of how much I love that game more than it as a remaster.
Yeah.
But still very cool that they have both versions of the game, right?
Mostly,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, outside of the voice acting. But yeah, cool stuff. Best party.
So this okay. So first off, um best party of the year goes to Dispatch. But but if we're sticking with JRPGs, uh if we're sticking with JRPGs, I there were a couple I was thinking about here, especially because again, we're in remake, remaster territory, and like the Lunar One party is so freaking good. Like that's a tough one to pick anything over. I really like the handling of Dragon Quest II. Because there was like a little bit of these elements in the original ones, but I feel like that was one of the biggest things that got updated with the remaster was or the remake was not just the addition of another party member, but really doing a more thorough job of like everyone's interactions with each other. Even though you have a silent protagonist, so it's like 1 out of 4 characters doesn't say a word. Uh, just the little bits of like how they kind of talk about their shared legacy and responsibilities and like they're all basically up and coming going to have to be kings or queens in the future and what that means and like the importance of like saving the world. It's this very romantic take on the idea of like divine right of kings where it's like Yeah, real life monarchies are actually kind of a goddamn mess. But there is this very romantic concept of like, oh no, you legitimately care about the people and like want to be a good ruler and like are literally trying to save it by fighting a dark overlord god, whatever. Um, and I really like the way that was incorporated into the remakes. Like, I think they did a great job fleshing everyone out a bit more for that. Um, and then, like, 100 line, a lot of big personalities, good stuff there. Claire Obscure, like we've talked about before. I actually do think, as much as I like some of the individual party members, I think the party aspect is one of the weaker parts of Expedition 33. Um,
100%.
I wish everyone had, like you have a couple really good moments. Like, there's like one scene with Lune and CL that is so good. And I wish we had like 3 more scenes like that. Because otherwise, especially into like the last act of the game, it is the Verso and Mael show at that point. And it almost kind of feels like the other party members are kind of like around to be there. Um, and so I just wish there was a little bit more of like how everyone interacts with one another and would have like given that a bit of a stronger push. Because I like a lot of them individually, but I do think the party cohesion just feels not fully there for that game. Um, I think for me personally, I probably am gonna lean into Dragon Quest 2, but Lunar absolutely is up there.
I mean, it's fucking
Trail, yeah,
liberal. It's the liberal gang, dog. It's the liberal gang. But I've already said like how much I love that party. So many episodes. I'm not, that is what that is.
yeah.
But outside of that, I agree with you with Dragon Quest 2. Dragon Quest two's party is really, really great. And again, just all the talking points that you just mentioned, like those were all the things that really hit for me as well. I do love the lunar party as well. The lunar one party specifically.
Yes. No, Lunar 1 party
Um,
clears Lunar 2 party. Like, I like some
yeah.
Lunar 2 people, but like in general, just like 1 is such better execution, which you can hear about in our campfire catalog.
Yes. Um, what are your thoughts on oh man, what about Deltarune? You can talk about Deltarune.
I mean, I do love the Deltarune party. I Deltarune's weird because I love the core party, but I also think a lot of its biggest stars for me are like supporting cast, which are like not actual party members, but
Mm,
just like other people you interact with and meet. Part of the thing with core party, right, is that similar to Dragon Quest 1 and 2, you have a silent character and then only 2 other party members in this case, not even 3 like in Dragon Quest. So there is some great party dynamics and there's some hilarious stuff. Um, it's absolutely up there, actually. Like, as you're saying that to me, and I'm thinking more about it, I'm like, okay, actually, yeah, I would probably rank that quite a bit higher the more I think about it. Uh, I don't know if it would take my number 1 for this year, but there is some, oh my god, there are some great moments sipping that church juice. It's just, you're gonna play it someday, Cam. You're gonna play it someday.
play it someday. 100%.
You're
Yeah.
gonna play it someday.
I'm gonna play it someday. Um, yeah, I think though honestly, I think those are like the top three that we mentioned. Like I think that's it.
Yeah.
They're all very good for different reasons.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
hey, listen, I'm gonna, can't wait for you to finally get to Trails.
yep.
You know what I mean?
That's,
So
yeah. I will also give a brief shout out. I don't rank it as high as these, but I think it still does deserve a shout out real quick. Bravely Default. I mean, that's another remaster situation, but like, solid, great party. Love me a ring a bell. Uh, good stuff there too.
cool. And then our last category, best weird little guy.
Oh, you sprung this one on me. Uh,
Yep.
yeah, weird little guy. There's some great weird little guys. Well, I mean, we're agreed in the concept that like the little guy is not necessarily literal because like Esquier,
Yeah.
the best little
Weird
guy,
little guy for
yeah,
sure.
going off the charts with that one, and that's
Yeah.
yeah. Obviously, there's like the principal or whatever he's called in 100 line. That he fulfills that archetype in a lot of Kodaka stuff. Uh, who do I want to give best little guy to?
I'm gonna shout out Olivier from Trails for best little guy.
We're
Thank you, Matt
giving,
Mercer.
yeah, that I don't know enough to understand why that has best little guy energy, but I'm excited to find out down the line. Uh Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna just give it to SGA. It's SGA.
He's definitely a weird little guy. Like
I
that's
mean,
all I'm
I
saying.
mean, he's one of the breakout. I think like I mean, we were just talking about how his plush came out today, and
Oh, I was talking
even
about Olivier, but
oh,
okay.
Olivia, yes, sorry.
I know. Yeah, SGA is 100% like a a weird little guy for sure.
It's
100%.
great year for French names and weird little guy energy. Uh, yeah, I think I'd probably have to give it to SGA for me. Like, there's definitely some like funny supporting characters in Deltarune that absolutely have that energy as well, but SGA is such like a SGA is so much of the heart that is otherwise missing in some of the other characters. As you were saying, like there's a lot of moral grayness in EX33, and SGA is the one consistent force of just positive energy. He also
Yeah, and
vomits
then
wine. It's great.
are we gonna give weird little guy to the cat with the demonic deep voice that says "Use your gun" in Rido?
I mean, I do. It's great advice. I would not give it to the demonic cat.
Okay,
I
he's
give
a
it.
weird little guy.
No, he's a weird little guy. I'm just saying, if I'm picking my number one, I got to stick with
Oh
SGA.
no, no number one, but like honorable mention to the. Do, wait, doesn't Hunterline have a weird little guy?
Yeah. Well, there's two of them. Yeah, it's
Okay,
the I forget what term they use for them, but they're effectively like the principal of the military school, or maybe they call them the general or something. There's two of them. They're both weird. They're fun. I don't, as I've kind of alluded to before, like when it comes to Hundred Line and some of the writing and aspects, I absolutely love Uchikoshi, and I'm kind of just fine with Kodaka. And the principal is definitely like Kodaka energy to me. Like it's like it that's definitely from like Danganronpa, the bear kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah,
mm-hmm.
like that's a fun weird little guy, sure.
Does Deltarune have any weird little
I
guys?
mean, arguably every character is a weird little guy.
Okay,
Like it's
okay.
that's kind of the hard thing, right? It's like even your party members, even like everyone you encounter. I would say if there's any like big breakout for that, a lot of people this year would probably be Tenna, who is a like Tenna does not look how you would expect for a Deltarune character if you haven't actually seen him, because he's like a rendered out 3D character in like a game show host suit with a TV for a head. That's his name, Tenna. Uh, he's he is fantastic. He's definitely some weird little guy energy. But again, so is like everyone in Deltarune. It is a game about weird little guys.
Now I have two like questions of are these weird little guys? First being Kyle from Lunar. Is Kyle a weird little guy?
Not how I traditionally categorize, but like
Okay,
I mean,
okay,
he's certainly the comic relief in a game that is already kind of lighthearted and silly. Right at the gate.
okay.
It's hard for me to think of a weird
Now
little guy being like a drunken womanizer. I don't know. It's just not.
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Um, now, well, the way this is actually a really funny setup. Now that you said that, now is Kanime Date a weird little guy?
I mean, arguably
Not a
his
JRPG per se,
yeah.
but like
I mean, arguably his eyeball is, but uh,
he's definitely weird.
he's definitely weird. Oh no, he's definitely weird. Yeah, not what I picture
Doesn't
when I
give
think weird
little
little
guy
guy.
energy though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a bit of a gremlin. Like he's definitely got some gremlin energy. Again, I think for me, weird little guy, innocent isn't necessarily the right word, but I tend to look for a degree of like, I don't know, not innocent, not pure, but like there's just a certain degree of like, I want a little more simplicity out of them. And like he is a simple guy, but I don't know. I don't often equate that kind of energy there. For me at least. I might be out on the proper weird little guy energy definition.
Listen, the beautiful thing about weird little guys is that everyone has their own definition.
We all got our weird little guys.
Yeah, we all have our weird little guys. So, um, but okay, cool. Well, we did it. That's our
Did
best
it.
ofs of this year. Um, yeah, we're never gonna probably do like our like obviously we're gonna have our own game of the years, and that's that's that. But we're probably not gonna like ever do anything in depth about those about that, just because like we only get to play so many JRPGs a year.
Sure.
We miss so much stuff, and it's just like I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get
I,
it.
I like
I think there's
I
something
like I
to
never it doesn't. I just don't think like it makes sense for us to be like, oh, this is our game of the year when we haven't played like
everything. I mean,
yeah,
I think there's nothing wrong with like openly coping to that and being like, hey, like this is my game of the year from stuff I played and what my number one is. I was actually even seeing an interesting
yeah.
trend go around the other day on Blue Sky where it was like, hey, here's the lineup of all the like really big hit like 2019 stuff. What was your game of the year in 2019 and what is it now? And absolutely lots of people who were like, oh, like originally I definitely would have said this, but now like this many years later,
Mhm.
either because of
Yeah.
taste change or because I finally played a certain thing. Looking back, like, oh no, this is the best one of 2019. Um,
What was your game of the year 2019, and what is it now?
Originally, I probably would have said because I think that was a year where I was definitely like, oh, like it could be this or it could be this. I think at the time when I was feeling the peak hype for it, I was saying Resident Evil 2 remake.
Okay.
Because that to me is like in terms of like really remaking a game and like redoing the core combat and adjusting the pacing and turning it into something that is like true to the original but also definitely an entirely new game. I absolutely loved. Like I was so into that, and I still am. Like I love it a lot. Um, Now though, like again, there's a few that I think make it tough, but I'd probably lean into like Disco Elysium. Like, I think that's a really big one from that year, especially just because while we are focused on JRPGs here, I definitely love my Western RPGs as well, and the influence and energy that game had, I just really enjoyed.
Yeah. For me, I do think Disco Elysium is absolutely incredible. I think it's probably the best written game I've ever played. Like it's just so well written. And I still need to finish it, but just like based off of like what I've played, I'm like this is just so well written.
Yeah.
Um, my game of the year was the final season of The Walking Dead,
Mm.
because I've never talked about that franchise on this podcast, of course, but yeah, that series, I love that series so much. Clementine is just one of my favorite fictional characters um in games, and I thought that they really nailed that final season despite all of the like behind the scenes stuff that was happening during that time with Telltale. Um yeah, I thought it was really really great. Disco Elysium would probably be my runner up, just based off of what I played,
Yeah.
because it was just so like well done. How did you feel? We're going on a little bit of a tangent here, but I'm actually
It
curious just
wouldn't
because
be an episode if not. Yeah.
this is a pretty divisive game, and I just like kind of wanted to know where you stand on it because it came out that year.
Uh-huh.
Where do you stand on the Outer Wilds?
I still need to properly play it. That is
Okay,
one that I've
because I know
always
some people
heard.
that like think it's like one of the best games ever
Oh
made,
no, yeah, I
and
know
then
people that talk about it with a reverence. Like I almost that's part of why I haven't gotten around to it because I've had it hyped up to me so much by some folks that I almost need to forget all the hype and just play it with like cleaner eyes because I just feel like I'm gonna go in with the wrong expectations
yeah.
with it. Because yeah, I've heard nothing but incredible things. I think some other big runner ups for me for that year were like Control and Judgment, like both of which I did play
Oh,
like a little bit after.
Judgment's so good.
Judgment's really
Control's
good.
fine.
Judgment's arguably like one of the best RPG games. So
It's my favorite personally.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, also Sekiro. Sekiro came out in 2019.
yeah, yeah. That's another big one. 2019 was a
Yeah.
pretty like good year across the board. It's like everyone released games, and then there was something that happened in the year later that derailed a lot of development for years.
Yeah, no, like Sekiro for me was fine. Like, but again, I wasn't like, I liked Control. I wasn't crazy. It's kind of like how I feel about Control is similarly to how I feel about Expedition 33. Like, I liked it. Like, I, I think that there's obviously a vision behind this game. And again, maybe it's because I played the Xbox One version. It could very
Sure.
much well be that, but like,
Did
I
you?
just like
Did,
think some of the powers and stuff just like didn't it just felt unfinished to me in weird
hmm.
ways.
did
Um
did you end up playing Alan Wake 2 yet? I forget if that was something you kept
I
up with or not.
started it and then I stopped because I wasn't having fun.
I I don't have a follow up question.
I kept on
Only
getting I kept on getting hold on. I kept on getting to parts where I was like I would run out of ammo and then I would just die. Like you can't do anything. You can melee attack and that's it. So it's just like, okay, so I'm in these long firefights with these enemies. I run out of ammo. What am I supposed to do? I die.
I try again and have better aim. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't,
It's not an aim thing. It's literally just and also when these enemies are like little basically like blobs of like you can't see them in a
yeah.
real way.
Well, I mean, not until you shine them with your flashlight.
I know I'll shine them with my flashlight and then I'll shoot them. I'll hit them each time and they just don't and then they don't die and then I die.
Okay.
This is factual things that happened to me while
I,
playing this game.
I'm not, and that's the thing. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying that your experience is so extremely different from my own that I don't know how to better like explain other than just like I don't know if we played different builds of the game. I don't know what's different about our play styles. I just know that was not an issue for me. Like, yeah, I definitely like ran out of ammo or got low like fairly often, but like I wouldn't say that I was constantly out and then would just die meaninglessly. Like, I don't know. All I know is
It only happened to me like two instances. One of them I got past. The other one I was just like the people keep coming and I don't have any ammo and I'm running around and like I can't do anything and and it's also like because I was in like this kind of like sewer area. So the also all the places I could move were very tight.
sure.
So I couldn't really like run past enemies or like anything like that. Like I don't know, dog. I don't know.
I
But
don't. Yeah.
like
I,
I want to go back and play it. Like I got to like all of the iconic stuff about the game, I guess if that makes sense.
sure.
Um
Yeah, I
but
just absolutely
and I
love like post control remedy, and so like the degree of madness on this, I'm just like, all right, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. These are both incredible games. Yeah,
yeah, I just
different strokes,
don't
different folks. Yeah,
yeah, no. Like again like oh okay, control is not incredible. Like that's crazy.
it
Like
is. I'm
it's
like, dude,
good.
my God, dude. No,
It's
okay,
good.
we're not gonna drag out this episode to this degree because like we're just gonna go back and forth forever on this. Like, you're nuts, dude. That's one of the best games of 2019. Like, easily.
Yeah, but when 2019 was ultimately like like okay year, like
We were just talking about how that was the year that had Sekiro and Resident Evil 2 remake. Like, what are you talking about? 19 was a great year.
think so. I don't know. Like I listen, I don't have like a list of 2019 games to look at right now, but like I thought like that I think the games that I thought that were like superb that year like were Disco Elysium, Sekiro, Resident Evil 2, like and even though I don't really care for Resident Evil 2 like because I'm not a Resident Evil guy, like
Yeah.
I can recognize that. Like I just like Control again. The love, like the vision behind it, totally get it. Totally like
I I'm just saying
I just don't.
this is the year that had Death Stranding, Control, Judgment, Slay the Spire. We have our opinions about this, but Fire Emblem Three Houses was a big release. Uh People are listing Dragon Quest 11, but I'm pretty sure that's when S came out. I think the original release was like 2 years
Yeah,
prior.
but it
Uh
okay. Go ahead.
yeah, Sekiro, Luigi's Mansion 3,
Okay,
Devil May Cry 5. Oh my god, I forgot that was that year too. Uh yeah, like this is a good ass year, man. Like, what do we
like compared to like other years, not really. Like
I
it's a solid year. It's a solid year.
all right. I just don't know, like we just hit a point where it's like we clearly have lived in two different timelines or experienced things differently, and there's nothing I can like. It's like, all right,
Like if
that's your
you're
take. Like,
comparing
cool.
that, if you're comparing that year to this year, it's night and day, dog.
Is it this year? Like, I mean, there's some great stuff this year, but like,
Like, how do I explain it? Like, is the peak of like 2019 higher than 2025? To me, yes. But when it comes to like the amount of like high quality games across like the year to 2019, I think so, yes. And also, like, you're talking about Death Stranding. Death Stranding was divisive.
sure, divisive
I
doesn't
like
mean
Death
not
Stranding
good.
a lot. Okay, but like the games that you were naming off were all like generally received well, except for Death Stranding.
Okay. I mean, I can happen to list a game that I think is incredible that not everyone agrees on.
Okay,
Like,
okay, yeah, no, no, I like Death Stranding. I
okay.
like Death Stranding. Here's the thing, like I'm not like 2019 was like it was a solid year. It was solid. Like, especially because like Disco Elysium came out like what in December or like in no or like no, it was in December, but it was
No,
like right at the tail end of the year that really like threw a wrench in the game of the year discussions.
it
Like,
was October. Yeah.
um, yeah, like to the point where like people didn't even get to finish it before they could really vote for it. But like, yeah, I just like again, Control was cool. I have issues with Control. Um, Sekiro is phenomenal. I love Sekiro. Disco Elysium is phenomenal. Love that. I really love Death Stranding. You know, um, again, like my game of the year is like none of those. Um, it's a solid year.
Yeah. A really
Yeah,
good one, some would say.
eh, yeah, that's fine.
Well, okay, now I have an idea at
Okay,
least for a future topic of the show where we're gonna tier different game, like different release years. Because this is madness. We need to have data.
okay. I promise you, 2019 is going to be pretty low, like pretty low.
Madness.
I'm
Madness.
sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. Like, I
Well,
don't
anyways,
know.
guys, that wraps up our last podcast of the year. We'll see if there's a season 2. Um,
um,
and I
but yeah,
wish my
like
camera
again,
would stop freaking out on this particular
like
recording. There we go.
on what you were saying, we agree with all of those games being like good.
Okay,
You just think
well,
that some of them
yeah.
are incredible and I don't.
Yeah, no, that's the main difference, right? And none of us are saying that those games are bad. It's just a matter of me being like, these are all extremely influential and like excellent games. And you're being like, yeah, I guess they're okay. And like, I just don't see it. I don't know. It's just weird to me.
Yeah, but like 2017, right? Look at like compare 2017 to Breath of the Wild, Odyssey, Persona 5. Like,
Well,
come
first,
on,
you know
man.
my thoughts on Persona 5. Uh, let's see. We're
We're
not going
just
to
we're
take up
just
that much
like
time on this, but we're just like,
yeah, I was about to say it's just like we're still going. A lot of people consider 2017 the best year of games ever.
yeah, I don't agree with that. I've seen that take, and I don't. I think it has some individual huge standouts, but I don't think 2017 as an overall year is that particularly powerful. It just has it has
See,
very
now
strong
you're
outliers.
crazy. Now you're
Look,
crazy.
if we're talking about like Nintendo specifically, yeah, sure. But if we're talking about like
No,
overall games, like no, there are so many years that can compete with 2017.
I don't. I here to be clear, I don't think 2017 is the best year either. But I also think that you saying that like I don't know, you're making it sound like that you think that 2019 is better, which is wild.
Hey, look,
That's wild.
I'm gonna need to see a better list side by side, but at least in the lists I'm seeing right now of 2017 releases versus 2019 releases, I'm probably gonna end up saying that. I don't know.
You're crazy. You're absolute. Okay.
Again,
Okay.
for Nintendo specifically, 17 is an incredible year.
No.
Like I cannot argue that.
No. We're not talking just Nintendo.
Yeah.
We're talking in general. So Doki Doki Literature Club,
Okay.
Splatoon 2, Sonic Mania, Resident Evil 7, Horizon Zero Dawn, Hollow Knight, Cuphead, Hellblade. It's not even a competition.
Look,
It's not even close.
Hellblade and Horizon Zero Dawn are good games, but we are not putting those in the same tier as some of the stuff we were listing in 19. Are you kidding me?
I I mean, I would say that Control I would say that Control is not much better than Hellblade or Horizon.
You are out of your fucking mind.
Nope.
Out
Persona 5,
completely. No, man.
Divinity
No.
Divinity original No,
We're
Divinity
already
Original Sin
different.
2.
We're already too different to like even let this like work. Like it's just gonna be us
What would you
bashing our heads against the wall again and again.
based on a number, what would you rank Control?
Like number
Out
score?
of 10. Out of 10. Out of 10.
Oh, it's a 9.
Yeah, no.
Like
Sorry.
easy.
It's an 8. It's a solid 8.
Okay. I like how this is mostly boiling down to Control ultimately. Like
It really
all these
is,
other
but
things, but
like
it's really boiling down to just Control
No, like
specifically.
yeah, no. Like Sekiro, phenomenal. Disco Elysium, 10 out of 10. Like, yes. But anyway, Divinity Original Sin 2,
Yeah.
Nier Automata,
Yeah.
Yakuza 0, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey. Come on! Like you cannot say it's close. That's just 15. That's 15 games right there. No, dude, you're out of your mind. Assassin's Creed Origins.
Nah.
Assassin's Creed Origins is one of the best Assassin's Creed games.
Overhyped Assassin's Creed games, yes.
Huh?
Overhyped Assassin's Creed games, yes.
No, it's one of the
The
best.
thing is, I love
games.
Assassin's Creed, and no way would I ever argue the existence of a particular one in a year is why that year is great, because I don't... Assassin's Creed is a franchise that I love and do not respect.
Maybe you decided to do that over time, but like in general, like, is that like if I
No,
because like one of my favorite years of games is 2010.
Okay.
I'm 100% mentioning Assassin's Creed Brotherhood
Okay.
as a highlight of that year.
Cool.
And you think that's ridiculous?
Look, this goes back to the joke I made in the chat earlier in the Discord when Shai posted that one thing about Assassin's Creed where it's the two girls arguing, and one's being like, Assassin's Creed is the most mid-series ever, and then like, no, but 4 is incredible because you're a pirate, and that's the entire argument. And they're both right. Like, Assassin's Creed is a franchise that I both enjoy thoroughly, and also from an objective standpoint, are just kind of fine big AAA games.
Gravity Rush 2. I'm just like I'm literally just going down the list.
Buddy,
Hitman.
Buddy, we just don't have like we don't have the wavelength right now. Like if we're gonna do this properly, we need to be looking at multiple years and really having the layout, which we have not prepped at all right now.
I'm just arguing against 2019. That's my argument.
And I'm just telling you, but the thing is, it hinges on the fact that you just don't appreciate the great shit that came out that year, and there's no way we can objectively talk about that then.
How do I not appreciate it? I said it's good.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's better than you're giving credit.
Okay.
That's all. It just hinges down to the fact that we reacted to those games differently. Like, I just don't... Like, all we're doing is retreading the same talking points over and over ad nauseum.
It's really just about Control. This is ultimately about Control.
It's really ultimately about Control. And I'm just like, yeah, man, I'm sorry. I think it's incredible, and you think it's just good. And, like, that's honestly the end of it. Because... unless we wanted to do an entire long actual deep dive thesis where we've both recently played it, there's nothing we can add to this current situation.
All right, well, you're going to be in charge of that because you want to do that. So,
I mean, it would require you to replay it too.
Oh, replay Control?
Yeah.
I mean, I probably will before Resonant comes out.
Got about a year. We don't know when it's releasing. Yeah, but next year.
But again, I am like, because I tried to go back to Control before and play the DLC.
This is a JRPG
before Alan
podcast,
Wake
by
2.
the way.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I went back to play Control before the Alan Wake 2 DLC, and I stopped because I didn't want to play Control anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right, everybody.
I don't know what you want me to say. Like, all right.
No, I mean, I'm just telling you that, like,
yeah, that you don't appreciate it. I get you.
I do appreciate it. You are mislabeling me. But anyway, I hope all of y'all loved that chaos that
the last
Kevin
second
inflicted upon us.
How is that my? Anyways.
It was your fault.
I mean, I brought up the conversation of 2019. This is true.
You did. Yeah, it was your fault.
You ran with it though. I opened the door. You're the one who just like took a bulldozer through it.
That's okay. That's fair. But anyway, I hope all of y'all have a good holiday season, whether you're celebrating Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it may be. We'll be back on January 6th January 8th
That's a
for
better date.
yeah, January 8th for the first episode of the year. You can follow me on socials at Cam Final Mix. You can follow Kevin on socials at Kevin Kenson. Thank you to everyone listening to this podcast and enjoying this first year of this podcast full of shenanigans and nonsense. We appreciate you. We love you. And until next time, we'll catch you later.
Later.